Don't just be another foreigner, be a local Laowai.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Local Laowai, the show that gives you everything you need to know for a smooth transition to life in China. I'm Donny Newman. Last time we introduced the wonderful world of teaching English in China. In this episode, we're going to continue our coverage of the most popular expat careers with the media industry. Whether it be traditional media like print, TV, radio, or the so-called new media like iPads or mobile phones, there's no question that media is all around us. And that's where you come in. Is a media job right for you? Stay tuned because on this episode, the Local Laowai team and I will be introducing some of those opportunities to you. Starting with print. The print industry is still going very strong in China. Millions upon millions of Chinese still get their news from the hundreds of daily newspapers that are published in China today. Huh? So how can you get in on the action?
Papers, it's all the brand news you want to hear. It's papers. Papers, don't even go to a website. Papers. Miss, paper right off. It's right.
Teddy, I'm not talking about hawking papers. Actually, most of the nationally syndicated Chinese newspapers have started producing English language versions of their articles. Some of those newspapers, like the China Daily here, are totally produced in English. All these papers will need employees with native level English to translate and edit content. And you don't necessarily have to know Chinese to get in on the action. English-only papers will obviously need English content provided for them as well. And even more opportunity has come about with the advent of new media. China Daily, for example, publishes mobile-exclusive English content written by foreigners discussing current events and topics related to expat life in China. English language radio is also on the rise in China. Take Beijing's Easy FM, for example. The entire channel broadcasts totally in English. On Easy FM, foreign DJs not only share Western music with the audience, but also discuss topics pertinent to the lives of Laowai in the city. International radio is also a great option for the expat DJ, like Neil Jones.
Howdy.
Neil worked at China Radio International, which broadcasts in over 60 different languages to 161 regions all across the world. Neil, thanks for talking with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me in.
So, Neil, what can you tell us about your expectations going in, and how is that different to what your experience was once you got there?
Well, first thing you have to know is that you have to be very flexible, because the equipment and the libraries that you may find here are not what you'll find in the United States.
Tell us about your assignment that you were hired on to do, and how did that change once you got there?
Well, they first hired me to do a music show, and when I got there I found out that they didn't have the library that I needed to do the show. So I decided to change it and use whatever I could find in the library and use all different kinds of music in the show. It's not just being flexible with the equipment and the library that you have in radio, it's also being adaptable to the culture, and the Chinese culture is something that may surprise some people. You do have to adapt to that to be successful in it.
Well, thank you very much, Neil. That was some solid advice for all those potential international broadcasters out there. But of course, media jobs don't just stop at radio. Let's see what else we've got. Now, if radio and print don't strike your fancy, maybe a job in front of the camera will interest you. TV is a booming industry in China, and there are plenty of jobs for foreigners everywhere, from government-run industry veterans like CCTV to newer privately run startup ventures. And the jobs aren't just focused in Beijing and Shanghai. Provincial-level TV stations like Jiangsu TV and Travel TV are in constant competition for expats to put on their shows. Because if there's one thing Chinese audiences love, it's that unmistakable entertainment style that can only be delivered by a cool foreigner.
Take this guy, for example. Look familiar? That's right, that's yours truly, back when I used to work for the entertainment television juggernaut, Hunan Satellite TV.
If it looks like a lot of fun, well, it was, but it's also a lot of hard work behind the camera. All in all, though, the experience was priceless, and as you can see, I've stayed with the media industry until this day. But before I get too carried away with TV, there's also one more media that we need to mention. And I think all you tech-savvy Laowai out there know what I'm talking about.
The internet, being the world's newest and fastest growing form of mass media, is just teeming with opportunity. And many foreigners have jumped on the chance to develop their own websites in news, gaming, music, and more.
We'll come back and spend time introducing these internet entrepreneurs one by one. In the meantime, don't forget to consider a career in media when you're looking for your China job. They're fun, challenging, and with everything going on in the industry right now, they'll need you.
Tune in next episode when we'll introduce all the exciting Laowai careers in business. And keep sending in your questions at locallawai@bon.tv. I'm Donny Newman, and we'll see you next time.